Hello art friends and paint pals. Today I'm gonna do a sketchbook tour. I have about 10 minutes before I have to get ready to go to work, so let's get started. So this is a field artist sketchbook. It's a square size. I'll get the proper dimensions later and put it down in the description, also with a link of this exact same sketchbook if you are interested in picking up one for yourself. Also, the stickers I got from Redbubble. I used to have a Redbubble shop. I guess I kind of still do, but I don't really keep up to date with it. And if I can find these stickers, I will also link them down below. Originally got this sketchbook because I was going to study abroad. I think in 2019 I bought this sketchbook to bring with me when I study abroad, but I actually didn't use it because I was just so busy. I didn't really have a lot of time to paint, but I did paint in some of my journals while I was there, so I just really didn't use this sketchbook. I started the sketchbook in August 2020 and I finished it in December 21. So first page is blank because I find it hard to paint on the first page. I like to keep it blank sometimes because just in case I mess up, it's not on the first page. Second page is a full spread. I was testing out some watercolor in the sketchbook to see how it would hold up. So this paper is very interesting. I think it's a little bit of cold pressed paper with deeper texture mixed in with the back of the cold pressed paper, which has less texture. So while flipping through, you might notice that one side has texture, the other side has a lot less texture, and it was really weird for me to get used to this. I didn't think the watercolor held up that well to the sketchbook, but I like the effect that it gives. I do prefer hot press paper, even though I haven't used it that much, just because it's smoother. I do like texture, but I don't like texture that much. So while in South Africa, I saw a lot of bird of paradise plants and I became obsessed with them. I love painting bird of paradise. I love the colors. I like the way you can make it very expressive or very detailed. Yes, I just love painting bird of paradise. And here's another one. I practiced a lot in the sketchbook. I did a couple of different bird of paradise paintings in my journal when I was in South Africa, but I could not stop painting bird of paradise. So this was another painting practice. I recently bought my mom some flowers. Every year for Mother's Day, I buy my mom flowers to add to her garden. And this was just me trying to practice. This flower in particular, though, is a South African flower. It's called a sugar bush. I was trying to paint it and get the forms right, but it ended up kind of not coming out exactly how I wanted it to. I remember I was really disappointed with it at first, but giving it a second look, I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy different aspects of this painting. I really like how it's really light in these areas, but then also like the form of the V's of the leaves kind of stand out. I don't know. I just really like it now. Before I really wasn't happy with how it turned out. So this was my second attempt at painting this. I remember I was recording both of these at the same time, trying to like make a video of them, and I wasn't happy with how it was turning out again. I'm not sure what I was going for, if it was realism or just kind of expressionism. Sorry if you heard that. It gets really loud sometimes here. Jets are always flying over, but like I was saying before anyway. Yes, this is a sugar bush again. I kind of gave up halfway through the painting because I just didn't like how it was turning out, so I abandoned it. This is a little lavender plant that I painted. I have a couple of lavender plants in my mom's garden. I think I had like 2 different kinds, and I really think they're very pretty. And I also just really love working with greens. I like mixing greens into different colors to get um, this kind of effect. I really love painting with greens. I can't say that enough. This is a rose painting of one of the roses that I have in my mom's garden. This is actually up on my Instagram. I really, really like bees. I really love lavender, and I did see a bee on my lavender plant that I have in my mom's garden, so I took a picture and I used that as a reference to paint these bees in lavender. One thing I really love about this painting is how the wings look. They do look transparent, but they also look like they're part of the bee, and especially like this part here, I really love how this turned out. Another bird of paradise. So my mom likes to put food scraps in our garden and in our compost. And so potatoes started sprouting out of our garden, and so I decided to paint them as like a little remembrance of how we found potatoes in our garden. These are just some fruits, oranges. I really love oranges, and I really love how this kind of bleeds into each other. I don't know what I did. I think I just added a lot of wet paint and just let it dry, but it looks so pretty, and I really enjoy it. And of course, the greens. I love green. So this is a spread that is also up on my Instagram. It is lovebirds, I believe. I think they're just a mix of lovebirds and like parakeets that I kind of just mixed together. And this is the first time I used gouache in the sketchbook. I'm fairly new to gouache. I did purchase a Arteza gouache a couple of years ago and practiced with it, but I never really got into it that much. But a lot of my favorite artists use gouache, and I love the way that it looks. So this is just regular gouache, not acrylic gouache, and I only have a primary set right now. Well, at this time I only had a primary set, so I did have to mix a lot of the colors that I needed, and in the end I still really like this spread. I mean, I would change some things, like this bird I would change a little bit, but I do like how the flowers turned out, and I think it's very pretty. So this is a couple of old sketches that I went back later on and painted. So I do have a hamster, and his name is Mustard, and we joke a lot and call him Crusty Dusty Musty. It's an inside joke between me and my husband, but I mean, we love him. He's not crusty. Well, maybe he is, but he's Stu, our like little boy. He just turned 1 year old on Christmas. We adopted him from a local shelter when we were living in Washington. And I mean, I love him so much, and I wanted to paint him. He is brown like this, but he does kind of have like this weird like forehead pattern that makes him look like an old man. But yeah, I just wanted to practice with my acrylic gouache, and I had this old sketch in my sketchbook. So this is the first sketch, and this is the second one, which is a little confusing, but I painted the second sketch, and I like how it turned out. It was very loose. I didn't really spend too much time going over details in this, so I didn't post it on my Instagram. This is on my Instagram right now, and I spent some time painting this. So I was trying to figure out my style of drawing animals, especially. I don't have a lot of animal art on my Instagram or in my sketchbook, just because I don't feel confident in how I draw animals just yet. So I was trying to figure out a style, and I really love how this turned out. I was also trying to figure out how my style would be with acrylic gouache, because it's completely different than gouache and also different than watercolor. I kind of think of it as working with, I can't think of the word right now, acrylics. That's what it is. Uh, I equate it to working with acrylics because acrylics has a similar texture to me. I mean, that's the first medium I started painting with was acrylics, and I thought acrylic gouache would be slightly more like gouache, but it's not. It's more like acrylics, and but it has this very pretty matte finish. So this is the first sketch and this is the second sketch, and I painted the second sketch once again, and this is up on my Instagram because I really like it, and I'm very proud of how it turned out. So this was in May. So I did do mermaid, but I also did mushroom May during that time, kind of in private. I didn't post any of these sketches, so this is the first time you'll be seeing this. So these are just different mushrooms that I did during Mushroom May, and some of them I did in multiple sittings. Oh, so this is just a spread of, I was watching Arlicia's painting in rainbow skin video. She had a reference and then we all sketched the same reference and then painted over it. And I was trying to follow her. I think I used both gouache and watercolor, and I didn't have a technique quite yet on how to use gouache or watercolor quite yet on how to paint faces, and I completely botched it. I think I don't really like how it turned out, so we're just gonna keep going. Yep, some more mushrooms from Mushroom May. Here are some more. I did not originally sketch these out, so what I did was I put a little paint on my brush and I did very thin lines to kind of outline the shape of the mushroom, and then I just started painting with my watercolors, and some of them came out really cool. I really like the effect that it gave. I didn't spend a lot of time planning out the composition or like the style. I just had like a specific color palette that I wanted, and then I just started painting once I had a loose shape of the silhouette. Some more mushrooms. And this was the last mushroom. I regret not putting more effort into this one. I knew I wanted to be a big mushroom covering up both sides of the page, but I didn't really plan out what colors I wanted to use, and then it ended up just getting really muddy and looking kind of funky, but it's okay. So after Mermaid, I took a long break from painting and just like posting on Instagram, partly because I felt really discouraged. I felt like I just wasn't reaching anyone. I was like kind of screaming into a void and hoping that one day someone would take interest in my art, and instead of just kind of focusing on myself and just working towards where I wanted my art to be. But sometimes when I take a long break from art, like when I was in college, I took hiatuses on and off from posting on Instagram and painting because I was just focusing on college and schoolwork and stuff like that. But once I take a break and come back, I always notice a significant change and a growth in my art, even though I haven't been painting. So that's very interesting to me. So this was painted in acrylic gouache, and I was very happy with how this turned out. I painted over it a couple of times, so like a lot of the paper is kind of falling apart, but I only had a limited amount of colors, and I was just really happy with how this turned out. I really like how the greens and the blues and the pinks kind of blend in very nicely with each other. This is scrap paper from Sketchbook & Co. I have a couple of their sketchbooks, and each sketchbook comes with like a little packet of scrap paper that they use from their sketchbooks, and so I decided to put it to use and put it in my sketchbook, and I really like it. It's really cute, and so this one's from Winnie the Pooh. It's really cute. So this is a spread that I originally had an idea for, and it didn't quite work out the way I wanted. So, and I just kind of got a little overwhelmed with painting the background. So the vegetables are made out of watercolor, and then the background is gouache. Halfway through, I kind of just given up on refining this illustration just because I just got overwhelmed once the background was colored and I didn't know how to push this further and finish it. Anyway, sorry I sound a little scratchy. It's pretty early and I haven't had any water, which is really bad of me. So this is Winnie the Pooh, again, a little scrap piece of paper from that packet of paper that I got. So I originally had this posted on my Instagram, but I took it down because I didn't like how it turned out. So it's acrylic gouache again with some, I think I used color pencils. Yeah, I used color pencils to kind of add detail, but I don't really like how it turned out. And so I removed it from my Instagram, but I think it's still kind of cute. I just wish I could fix things like the wing and the way the body is shaped. But anyway, I added some scrap piece of paper and did a little bit of swatching of the materials that I used. Once again, some acrylic gouache, some paint studies, just having fun and being loose in my sketchbook. So this is a stylized portrait study, I guess you can say. I'm not really good at capturing likeness in my portrait paintings, but I really do like painting faces, and I like adding color to faces. I'm very interested in the Impressionism style and the way you can see the brush strokes, but also see the features, like how each brush stroke kind of highlights the features of the face. And so I didn't post this on my Instagram because originally I didn't really like how it turned out, but now looking back at it, I really love it. And I think I love it because, again, green and pink, my favorite colors, are in this painting. So this painting is actually on my Instagram, and I remember I was watching a YouTube video about kind of having similar feelings that I feel about social media. Kind of thought about this painting, like you're trying to come to the forefront, but then there's another person here and there's another person there, and it just feels overcrowded, and that you just can't get your voice to be seen. You can't be seen. So that kind of inspired this painting. So I work at a rescue. I work with cats and small animals, and we get a lot of one-eyed cats, and we get a lot of orange cats, surprisingly. And I just love our one-eyed cats. We have one-eyed cats, we have no-eyed cats, we have deaf cats, we have all kinds of cats. And I'm a crazy cat lady anyway. So I decided to paint a cat in acrylic gouache, and I really love it, especially the eye and the stars. It makes me very happy. So this is just a fun little painting of strawberries. I don't think I have this posted on my Instagram, just because I just don't like how the leaves turned out, but I think it's a really cute illustration regardless. So this is just me covering up a very bad painting that I did. This is one of the business cards from Sketchbook & Co. shop. Check them out. They make really beautiful sketchbooks that I'm very afraid to use because I don't want to mess them up, but I do have a couple of them, and I hope to show them off here on my channel soon. This is a painting study of a rabbit. Other than cats, I really love rabbits. I have one of my own, and his name is Thumper. He is really handsome. He came with that name when we adopted him, so we just never changed it, and he is very fluffy. So he looks nothing like this. This is just a painting. This is just a picture, and I just painted that picture. And I really like it. I really love how gouache kind of just blends into each other. It's just so creamy. I'm in love. Anyway, yes, a rabbit. So this is a portrait study of a picture that I saw online. I was looking up different screen grabs of movies and like trying to see if I can capture their likeness and paint them. So this was originally supposed to be a female, which it doesn't look like at all. And so I'm kind of disappointed that it doesn't look like the person that I wanted it to look like. But at the end of the day, I still got some practice in. I do like how the nose turned out because I feel like you can clearly see the planes of the nose and like where it transitions into the cheek. Because I didn't really like how it turned out, I ended up using some scrap paper that I have and covering up different parts of it. And this video of the painting process is up on my YouTube channel if you would like to see the full video of it. This is another portrait practice. This one I went in with a more clear idea of not really trying to capture the likeness, but trying to play with skin tone and using different brush strokes and colors in the face to see if I can make it look interesting. And then I added some green plants around in her hair. I'm not very good at painting hair sometimes on the fly, so the hair is a little wonky, but I think the face looks pretty cool. And of course I love the plants. And this painting process will be up on my YouTube as well. Once again, another portrait practice. So this one I wanted to experiment with using watercolor and gouache at the same time. So this is acrylic gouache, and then the face is painted with watercolor, and I used a lot of different colors in the face. And I kind of got a little scared and overwhelmed, so I kind of didn't blend this out very well. Going forward, I'll probably do a wet on wet method, so I'll completely wet the paper, put in all these different colors and let them blend into each other, and then refine the details once everything has dried. So I'll probably experiment with this kind of style again later on. And so here we are at the end of the sketchbook, and of course we end with what we began with, Bird of Paradise. I am in love with Bird of Paradise, and this picture is up on my Instagram if you'd like to check it out on there. But oh my gosh, guys, if I can paint nothing else, I just want to paint Bird of Paradise all the time. Hello, voiceover Jada here. I just wanted to say thank you so much for getting to the end of the video, and apologize again for all the jet noises that were happening in the background. I hope it wasn't super distracting while watching. I didn't realize how loud it was until I started editing this video. I just wanted to come on and say thank you, and also say that my goal for my next sketchbooks are to practice more with skin tones, and also to get better at using gouache. I notice that sometimes after the paint has dried, it gets a little streaky, so my goal is to kind of correct that and see if it's because I'm using too much water or not enough water, see where the issue is and kind of correct that. If you like more videos like this and you want to see more of my sketchbook tours and just see my overall painting process, feel free to like this video, subscribe, and comment down below. I would love to chat with you all and just kind of build a little art community here. Thank you so much again for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.